2021 and we're still not fixed. What you doing with the money? Somebody needs to ask some questions. Because no one is asking these questions. I want to know. Don't you want to know? Don't you want to know about that $50 million that they're supposed to be giving to housing that we have not seen yet? Don't you want to know? Don't you have questions? Somebody should be asking questions right now. If I was walking by, I would be wondering, why are these people fighting and no one's standing up? Why are these people fighting and no one wants to say anything? There should be many, many people. This is just not about Bromley Heath. This is about your home and your home too. As they tear down your home and build new ones, don't think that you're going to be the one to come back. Ask the people in Mission Hill. They didn't get to come back. Ask the people in South Boston. They did not get to come back. Why, Bromley, do you think that you're going to come back? Somebody needs to stand up and ask some questions.
I have a meeting this Saturday at 3 at the Anaheim Call Center where they do the COVID testing.
Thank you, Pastor Whelan. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
As they make all sorts of promises. The $50 million that he was talking about, the mayor, the current mayor, Michelle Wu, and all the candidates actually had promised $50 million to fix up public housing, especially Mildred Haley, Bromley Heath. But when we asked about it at a public hearing, all the BHA officials could say is, we don't know. I mean, they made that promise, but we haven't seen the money yet, and I don't know. You know, for all the crying that BHA does, for all the crocodile tears about how, we don't have money to fix stuff, it's not our fault. You would think that they would fight for $50 million if it was promised to them, but they don't actually care. So they're willing to let these politicians make these BS promises in public forums before the election, and then once they're elected, they're just fine leaving it as a vague promise that they'll never fulfill. And these promises aren't just at the local level. It's not just like the mayor promising $50 million. Right now, it's Congress promising $65 billion. And that's why we're out here. Congress is promising, we're gonna spend $65 billion on fixing public housing. But then when you read the fine print, it's really $65 billion.
Where are you? Woo, where are you? Woo, where are you? Woo, where are you?
Woo, where are you? Woo, where are you? Woo, where are you? Woo, where are you? Woo, where are you?
Woo, where are you? He said there were many promises made to us. Where are you, Woo? We need you. Where are you right now? Mayor Woo? Mayor Woo, where are you? We're searching for you. I don't see you in the crowd. I don't see you knocking on our doors telling us it's going to be better. Woo, where are you? You told us while you wanted to be elected that you would do so much for us. Woo, where are you? Somebody tell me where's Will? I don't see her. You see her? But I tell you what, her husband, who's going to make good money off of this, who knows about that? Woo, where are you? Come on.
Where she at? Where she at, man? You see her out here?
So where is Woo? Where are all these officials?
She get the email.
Well,
She get the
sitting
email,
back,
right?
looking
How you
in
doing?
the profits
All right.
of these schemes that they devise. A lot of these politicians and officials, like the New York Housing Authority, their families are actually in the business of this stuff. They literally, run companies that stand to take over the public housing that they themselves are, orchestrating, the takeovers that they're orchestrating. So like Greg Russ, who was the Cambridge Housing Authority head, the Minneapolis Housing Authority director, and now the director of the New York Housing Authority. He's designed a lot of the plans, he's implemented a lot of the plans. He designed the current one in New York, Blueprint, which was stopped by the people there, by the residents there, at least for now. And his family literally owns the development companies that stand to, the quote-unquote affordable housing developers that stand to gain from his own plan. But going back to the promises, as I was saying, it's not just local, it's national. They make these promises of 65 billion that are just going to go right back into these same privatization schemes. And here's the thing, they've been trying to do this for a long time. They've been doing this for a long time, 30 years of getting rid of public housing, but they've been kind of sloppy, which is somewhat useful for us because it means they haven't taken it all over yet. They've been sloppy, and they don't do it in a big systematic way. It's kind of, it happens here, it happens there, it's a little bit messy. But now what's going on with this Build Back Better is the government is saying, no, actually we're going to step in, we're going to put a lot of money to make this all happen quickly, systematically throughout the country, instead of just leaving it up to the local authorities to kind of sort out their own deals with the developers. So, I don't know if anybody else would like to lead us in some chants.
So I got a few more things to say.
Cool, yeah.
So I just want to talk a little bit about what's been going on. They say there's no money for public housing. They got to hand it all over to the private developers. There's no money for the 2.5 or more million people who live in public housing around this country to not have mold and rats and cockroaches and carbon monoxide and all sorts of other things, lead paint, poisoning them. There's no money to fix the holes in the walls and the leaky ceilings, they say. But when this pandemic hit, in the span of a week, the government gave 6 trillion with, not billion, trillion to the banks, like that. The biggest bailout in human history. And they did it at the drop of a hat to keep the banks afloat, to keep a handful of people, really a few hundred, a few thousand who run the banks, keep them making their billions. And now we're all paying for that, because you can't just print money left and right like they did at the start of this pandemic and not have consequences. That's why we have inflation going through the roof, and it's going to keep rising. 7, 8, 9, 10%. They're even saying we're going to have hyperinflation in this country. Why? Because they keep bailing out the rich people while the rest of us are left to drown. They say there's no money, it's a lie. Look at how much richer the rich people have gotten during this crisis. There's an old saying, the rich keep getting richer while the poor keep getting poorer. Those are related. Every dollar those rich people make, they make it off our backs, off our blood, sweat, and tears. And now as they look to privatize Bromley Heath, as they look to privatize so many other projects, and eventually, in the next few years, all the projects around the country, what's going to happen? The rich are going to get richer, and the poor are going to get poorer. A whole bunch of people from here, if they're unlucky, are going to end up down on Mass and Cass. A whole bunch of people in New York City are going to end up sleeping under the Triborough Bridge. And a whole bunch of people are going to be pushed out of this city one way or another. Now, we're taught to fear the quick and brutal forms of violence that we see often in our society. But what about the crushing weight of years of oppression, of years of neglect, of living in neglected apartment full of mold and pests and carbon monoxide that grinds you down and steals years of your life, meaning your kids grow up with asthma, meaning you can't sleep well at night with the stress and worry of privatization looming over your head. Now here's a statistic for you they don't talk about much. If you go to Mass Ave, when you look across Mass Ave, you see the wealthy, gentrified side, and then you look down and see the South End, where Grant Manor and Lenox and Roxy Homes and a bunch of other developments are. You cross from the rich side to the poor side of Mass Ave. Life expectancy drops by 33 years. How many lifetimes have been robbed from residents of this city as they live in oppression and poverty at the hands of housing and these slumlords? And now they have the gall to say that they're going to privatize and it's going to be for the good of residents. But we know time and time and time again when they privatized, when they did Harbor Point, when they did Orchard Park, when they did so many privatizations around this country and around the city, it's not been for the people, it's been for the rich, the wealthy, the banks, the politicians. And a lot of people I've seen had a little bit of hope maybe Michelle Wu was going to be different. But as Pastor Wheeler was just mentioning, her husband, he's an investment banker in real estate. Boo! The truth is, we can't trust these politicians. They're bought and paid for, wholesale. They call it lobbying, I call it what it is, bribery. Bribery, legalized bribery and corruption. That's what our political system runs on. Both parties are mixed up in it. They're over their heads in it, and they don't care. They've sold us down the river time and time again. The only thing we can rely on is each other. That's where our strength comes from. Our numbers, our clarity, and our willingness to stand together through hard times. And I hate to say it, but the people of this country, we got a lot of hard times coming. The situation with inflation, with this economic downturn, it's just going to get worse before it gets better. And the only way we're going to make it through this, both with the privatization and the broader struggle, is if we stand together, back to back, linking arms and supporting each other through these difficult times we have ahead of us. But if we do stand together, and it's not going to be a quick battle, it's going to be a long and hard fight, but if we do stand together, we can win and we will win. Now, in this country, we faced a lot of defeats. In the project, people have faced a lot of defeats, a lot of nonsense. People have seen their friends and family, maybe even their own experience. They've seen when you stick your neck out there, you get hit, you get fired, you can get evicted. But the alternative of keeping your head down is no alternative at all. It's resigning yourself to the fate that things are just going to get worse and worse. It's saying that living in fear is better than risking fighting for a better world, better than risking fighting to save your homes. But we need to stand together, and we need to risk, because everything's already being risked. The privatization is a threat to every single resident here. It's a threat to every single working class person in this neighborhood. It's a threat to everyone who doesn't make hundreds of thousands of dollars, because you're going to be pushed out of the city of Boston. It was mentioned earlier. What was that statistic, Gabe? Was it the number of people who make more than $150,000 a year has tripled in the city of Boston? They're turning this city into a playground for the rich right before our eyes. We can't just keep our heads down and hope we'll ride this one out. We got to stand together and we got to fight. The decision is forced upon us, and we will stand together. And like I said, it's not going to be an easy fight. It's not going to be a quick victory. We're not going to have one or two protests and pat ourselves on the back and cheer and win and get to go back to our daily lives. This is going to be a long battle. It's going to be a hard battle. It's going to try us, but we can win and we will win. And we're going to face setbacks, and we're going to face discouragement. People have faced so much. They face so much nonsense, and excuse my language, they face so much bullshit. And they're used to losing, and they're used to standing up and being defeated. They're not used to standing together and winning. So we got to show them that they can win. We got to show them how to use their voices. We got to show them the power that they have, that they do not even know they have. And once we do that, not just in one conversation, but in many, then they will stand with us. And they will speak with confidence. And the power, you'll hear it in their voice as they know that we will win.
And then the judge got mad at me for asking this.
And that's all I've got to say for now.
You don't have an unlimited number of lawyers. You're not entitled
The government tells us that they have a Build Back Better package. If you were building back better, you would invest in the neighborhood. How many people can build bridges out here? How many people are brick masons? How many people can do the roads and all those jobs that they claim that they're going to bring back to the people. Those are all lies. They're not bringing back any jobs. They're making their pockets more full, making them more fat. They get rich, we get poor. Soon in Boston, their homeless population will double, triple. Because when they tear this down, where are you going to go? Not only this, but Manhattan and so many other places, where are you going to go when they take over your homes? The numbers should be great right now. We're going to continue this fight until we see Mayor Wu stand out here telling us what she's going to do. We believed in you, we voted for you. So now show us what you're going to do. We're going to continue to fight this fight until we get some changes. Boston Housing, we don't need you to sell this place. We need you to fix this place. Boston Housing, we don't need you to sell out the big banks. Yes, you will own the land, but somebody else will own the buildings. And they can give us any rules they want. They can kick you out of your home for the smallest thing. So why would you accept what they're telling you? They're over there lighting up a tree right now. They should be over here trying to tell us what's going to happen to us, what's going to happen to your home. That's what they should be talking about right now. Not over there lighting up a tree. Whoa, what you going to do? One more thing. Why don't you just give it back to Bromley Heath? We were doing it fine without you. You made up a lot of stuff to take this away. All you had to do was put new tenants in the office and continue to let the tenants run Bromley Heath. Tenant run management. Tenant run management. That's what we had and that's what we want. We want to go back to the way it was. We didn't have these problems before you came. And if you leave, we will fix them ourselves.
Yes, ma'am. He takes off at headquarters. Point 13 at headquarters.
We're going to wrap up here today soon, but the struggle will continue. We'll continue meeting, we'll continue exposing the conditions here and elsewhere, and exposing the lies about the privatization, the false promises of right to return, of one-for-one replacement, all these things that they say that are really just code words for kicking everybody out, whether it be immediately or in a few years, and for transferring a lot of the wealth that we create into the hands of these developers and these banks that stand to take over.
The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Thank you very much. Let's get one photo in front of the signs and then I think we'll wrap up.
If they're a bad person, like people that are like lying, come to my house, they're intoxicated, or they're bad dudes, like bad men, or something. He only bites weirdos and bad people. Yeah, but there's Boston, the law, there's no.
What's happening?
Sure, I'll take the photo.
I got a question. Have you guys tried to invite Mayor Wu down to speak with her? You guys actually try to talk to her?
Yeah, we try to talk to her.
And she hasn't returned the calls? That's interesting. She hasn't.
We tried to talk to Kim Janey before, and she got mad and walked
Oh,
away from
Kim
us.
Janey's a joke. Fuck.
Yeah, she's a joke.
Fuck her. But we don't care about Kim Janey. But Michelle Wu hasn't talked to you guys at all?
No, not at all.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. That's.
She's over there at Tree Lighting.
Oh yeah, she does political stuff. I know.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see through these politicians little by little.
Yes.
I'm gonna talk to Michelle Wu when I see her and ask her what's her standpoint on this.
Really?
Pretty sure she's not gonna have no answer. But
Yeah. It's gonna be no comment.
oh yeah, no comment like they all have. Transparency and accountability. That's what we want.
That's right.
Let's sit in front.
There you go.
What are you doing?
I don't have a sign.
Let's sit in front.
You don't have a sign either.
You can have the sign.
Dispatcher, what's your number?
All right.
All right, guys, they're wrapping it up. But I just want to show you people stand up for housing rights. And Boston housing has a bad reputation in general of managing properties. And it's been proven time and time again. So it's very interesting to see what Michelle Wu's standpoint is on that. One day I would ask her, I will ask her off camera first and see what she has to say. If she has a place of conversation, then we'll go from there. But if she does the same thing Kim Janey does, then I have to put her on blast. But all right, want to show you guys what's going on in the city. Anything else you want to say before I shut this off?
Oh yeah, well, just people need to look into what's going on, because this isn't just happening here in Boston, it's all across the country. And then when these things go, the whole neighborhood goes. People got to stand together, even if you're not from the projects, even if you don't live there, don't have family there. And a lot of people got family in the projects. But even if you don't know anyone there, stand with the people there, because they're coming for you next, you know?
Gotcha.
Rich people are taking over the city.
That's very true.
Any of the apartments that aren't part of the development or part of the project that are somewhat more affordable, I mean, what's going to happen to them when there's $2,400 one-bedroom apartments here, you know? And that's, and that's even if they stick to their current plans, because their previous plans was to have $3,000 a month one bedrooms, like 100 of them.
Like San Francisco or worse.
And I heard the stories about Bromley Heath though, so I know what you're talking about. They want to take down the high rises and make them low rises.
Well, actually, they're not gonna even make them. They're gonna be one floor shorter, but they're gonna be these big blocks, wooden buildings, like 6 stories high. Especially on Center Street, there's gonna be all this retail they're gonna add. Going to be like 673 apartments, where there's 250 right now in this section. So everything is going to be tinier, less open space, and probably all sorts of cheap materials. And way more expensive. Yeah.
Fire safety, yeah, that's very, very valid. Yeah, you're very valid. Yep, not safe. The infrastructure can't even hold that kind of setup. All right, guys, good job. Keep up the good work. Spread the word. All right.
Maintain compliance with the City of Boston's COVID vaccination verification and weekly testing.
All right, guys. They have a small police presence over here. They were expecting a little bigger crowd, but we got about 3 or 4 cruisers just hanging over on the side just for safety reasons. All right, guys. Catch you on the next one. There's Porter in the city.